And welcome back to the Hot Lap. It is the Las Vegas Grand Prix this weekend. It is officially race week. Goes Las Vegas. So the headlines: Max Verstappen is not entirely happy about the Las Vegas Grand Prix weekend. Is F1 the most important thing there? I don't know. But next, we have ticket controversy. Yes, one of the most expensive Grand Prix, and now tickets are on sale as to normal prices. Yes, normal people could potentially get them. We've got Haas to split their cars. Yet one with the upgraded stuff, one with the not so old upgraded stuff, let's say. And the Las Vegas local disagreements. We've got films going up on basically pieces of glass so people can't see. We've also have grandstands completely being cancelled, and obviously that cold Las Vegas weather. But as I said, it is race week. Let's get into what Max Verstappen has been saying about not being happy. Yeah, Verstappen, this is from planetf1.com by Sam Cooper. Verstappen, he's not looking forward to his Las Vegas trip, remarking that he wants to do my own thing and be gone again. And there is a sense of cautious optimism in Formula One as it prepares for this week's Las Vegas Grand Prix. Now, some of the paddock are excited, and others who are thinking it could be quite bad. So while the setting is one of the most spectacular on the F1 calendar, and the track layout, though, does not hint at great racing. People have been using those Homer Simpson pig memes, or just pig memes in general. It does look like an upside-down pig. I get that. So Max Verstappen, he's been saying Las Vegas is more for show than the racing. And that's also something that Bernie Ecclestone has said. He goes long straights and tight corners, has some wondering just how good the racing will be in Nevada. And with the added issue of the near freezing temperatures, it will not go down as a classic. But it may, because of that, it could be chaos. We all like those chaos Grand Prix as long as everyone is safe. I mean, look at the Belgian Grand Prix. That's well remembered by any Jordan fan or Damon Hill fan. But moving on, that is certainly the opinion, though, of a three-time world champion who said F1 is there more for the show than the racing. First of all, he says, I think we are there more for the show than the racing itself if you look at the layout of the track. But, I'm actually not into it. I'm more like, I'll go there and do my thing and be gone again. Now, Vegas is not the only tight street track on the calendar. For example, we have Monaco, loved by some, loathed by many. In terms of racing action, let's say, but it does look spectacular. So we got Monaco, and that raised to the Red Bull driver. He suggested it was the history that made the Monte Carlo circuit special. He said yes, but Monaco is also just history and the place itself. Everyone wants to have been to Monaco once. You can't really compare. So, yeah, I think he kind of makes a point. And so did Bernie, I think, in another story that I read today. Is F1, it does appear that the Las Vegas Grand Prix, kind of like Miami in a way, is more show than F1, and it's Liberty Media, as in Formula One, that it are the promoters, so they're not going to let it fail, and they want it to be the biggest story this weekend, which you can't really blame them for, being the first Las Vegas Grand Prix. Bear in mind, we're probably more than likely going to come back here again. They want it to be a success. Yes, I don't think anyone can blame them for that. Will it be a success? It's going to be interesting. Yes, I think we expect some teething troubles, but I think it's going to be how big those teething troubles will be is going to set, it's going to really determine what our memories are of that overall weekend. So next up, ticket controversy. Yes. Racing, this is again from planetf1.com by Henry Valentine. So racing driver Richard Bradley, he's detailed some of the enormous prices associated with the Las Vegas Grand Prix, stating that a deluxe hotel stay at the weekend could also be put to use on track. He said the Le Mans winner, he's continued in motorsport as a driver mentor alongside his own racing, and revealed that the inflated hotel prices for this weekend's Las Vegas Grand Prix are such that those able to afford top rates could even go racing themselves. He said general admission tickets for the Las Vegas Grand Prix were quickly snapped up when they went on sale, though. 3-day tickets available from $500, that's £407. They were previously a lot more than that. Now, reports have circulated that hotel and ticket prices have dropped significantly ahead of the race as hotels fail to seek their rooms. But Bradley believes ticket prices don't need to be as high as they are in the first instance. He said, looking at the higher end of the scale, Bradley, who mentors F2 driver and current Super Formula racer, I'm not even going to pronounce it. I'm going to get it. I'll give it a go. Sem Bullock Bassi researched the cost of a top bracket stay in Las Vegas. He said, just to put it into perspective, how mental some of the costs are. I think it was at Caesar's Palace. Bradley elaborated on the latest episode of On Track GP podcast. He produced, obviously, by Planet F1 as well. He said one of their hospitality packages for 5 people at the Grand Prix, having the suite, the full works, everything, I think was around $350,000, £285,000. You can get a decent priced house here in the UK for that, especially out of London as well, like a family house. That's absolutely crazy. He goes, now to put that into perspective, if you took that amount of money and you contacted the Ferrari factory team as an amateur driver and said, I want to race one of your official Ferrari GT cars for 3 races, you could do that and have 35 grand spare. That's just to put it in perspective. He goes, what? So, as we know, hotel costs have reportedly dropped a hefty amount ahead of the race weekend, but the fact that the race ended up at a price point out of reach by many was a concern in the first place. Bradley, he's praised the work of Liberty Media have done in making the sport more accessible, but hopes that extended ticket prices, I think we all do, hope that ticket prices in the future are not extraordinarily expensive. And that was the argument with Bernie before Liberty Media came in, was that Bernie was trying to make it too exclusive and too much of a VIP thing, he explained regarding costs. And the paddocks were empty, there was no fan interaction, and Liberty have come along and they've done all this stuff which has created fan interaction. Okay, well, let's now reflect that into ticket prices because they don't need to be as high as they are. I completely agree with you. I mean, take away just the Las Vegas Grand Prix. To a lot of places, even Silverstone, the tickets have gone so much now that if you want to take your family there, you're looking at almost like a week's worth equivalent of a holiday for maybe even one day, a Sunday, or if you want to stay there for the race weekend. It is absolutely astronomical, and some of the grandstand prices as well. But I can't help but feel at the end of the day, it is the fans that make the sport, and I just hope Liberty or Formula F1 do not forget that. It's the fans that tune in at silly hours sometimes, especially if in Australia, for a lot of those European races, they're the ones. If people aren't tuning in, if they're not interested in the product, if they're not going, then it's not making any money. And tracks need sellouts to make money. But then I just hope there doesn't come a point when they're so expensive that the average, I don't say average fan, but the average income, that the average person with an income that's a fan won't be going, and that'll be really, really, really sad, I think. Anyway, so our first bit of actually on-track sort of F1 news is about Haas, and Haas is to split their cars between old and new. This is from motorsport.com by Adam Cooper. The Haas team is splitting its cars for the Las Vegas Grand Prix, with Hulkenberg running the old era package and Kevin running the newer spec. The decision, though, is not a result of an attempt at a back-to-back gathering exercise, but it's simply down to the preferences of the individual drivers. Now, the team, it took a different direction with the upgrade package, first seen at the United COTA last month, and it's earned some solid midfield grid positions, but the cars are still proving absolute tyre eaters a la Mercedes in Brazil. Hopefully not so much this race though, but they're leaving their drivers absolutely helpless, dropping down that order. He said the main drive behind this was Nico feels that for him the old spec unit is better, but Kevin is the opposite, said team boss Gunther Steiner. We've opted to give them what they want. We have 2 races to go and nothing to lose, so we've tried to do what we can. Haas does need those points. He says we could discuss gathering data, but we've got enough data. It's a decision based on what each driver likes more than anything else. It puts them in a comfortable position so that they're as happy as they can be when with the car they get. Regarding the challenges of the night, he added, low temperatures are a key challenge. As everyone knows, you need to keep the tyres higher than the minimum temperature, which is higher than 5 degrees. So we always need to keep them warmer, but it depends a lot on the asphalt. It's a combination of temperature, roughness of asphalt, and I don't think degradation can get much worse for us than it was in Brazil. And on Thursday during practice, we'll get to know the surface, the track, the temperature, and we'll know more. Steiner indicated, though, that the main issue in their race is tyre surface overheating. That's caused by excessive sliding, and he stressed that it's going to have to be solved for next year for that Haas to go anywhere. It's one thing being obviously really fast in qualifying, but most of the points are in the race. He said, we're learning what doesn't work, but I think we need to fix it. He told motorsport.com after the Brazilian Grand Prix, we know what we need on the aero, but we still need to make it. We are going in the right direction. I hope in the wind tunnel and for next year, we will cure this. We'll learn about the cooling of the rims and all that stuff. Now, at the moment, we don't have a big issue with with the carcass temperature. That's the inside of the carcass, just the sliding and the surface. Oh, that's the surface of the tyre. Well, that obviously is the surface of the tyre, but that's why you get the grading when sometimes the surface is really hot, but maybe inside it's not really hot. But maybe that's a show for another day, let's say. So Haas splitting their cars. I think they need all the points they can get going into the Las Vegas Grand Prix. So you can't really blame them for trying something if it's going to make the drivers happy. But this is a track that no one has raced on in a temperature that no one has potentially raced in as well. But next is Las Vegas local disagreements. Yes, this is from WTF1.com. Las Vegas Grand Prix preparations have created unusual local disagreements. They've basically said the wait is over. As it is, as we all know, I think we're all excited in one way or another about what's going to happen. But before F1 has even come to Vegas, there have been quite a few hurdles to climb. Now, during the summer, it's reported that venues along the 3.8 mile circuit were sent a letter from F1 asking to pay £1,500 per head for licensing rights. Basically, they want customers to be able to view the race. They don't want customers to view the race without paying anything for the sport itself. Okay, fair enough. But now some of these restaurants and clubs are huge and hold thousands of people. That would mean paying millions to F1. If they refused, F1 warned that obstructions like barricades, grandstands, and even light sources intended to interfere with the venue's viewing area could be implemented. Fast forward now, TikTok videos from @Jacob's Life in Vegas show that privacy films had been applied to the glass of nearby bridges that overlook the circuit so that onlookers were prevented from seeing the track, but it also blocks a lovely view of the new sphere. However, this move has frustrated, and I think it's quite understandably so, many people in Las Vegas, including tourists who were there only for a few days, and videos show that much of the privacy film has been ripped down by people already. Well, there you go, people power, I guess, there. So on top of that, residents have complained about traffic nightmares, ripping up trees on the strip, and grandstands being built in areas that block tourist attractions. Now, the Las Vegas officials were forced to axe the construction of one of their grandstands, despite the sellout of the grandstands tickets. However, and the reason it was sold out was everyone wants to go. The reason it is no longer the grandstand is because of inadequate sightlines, apparently. But fans who bought those tickets have been upgraded at no extra costs. So there we go. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? The Las Vegas Grand Prix is going to be really interesting. I don't think it's going to be boring because even if the racing's not amazingly great, we're in Las Vegas for the first time. There's going to be a lot to look at. There's going to be lots of lights. Let's just hope for a cracking race. Next up, we are going to have probably tomorrow. That'll be the 14th of November. We're looking at having our actual race preview a bit early, looking at the track, the times. Yeah, that's the most important times when the F1 is on. Anyway, I digress. This has been the Hot Lap. Like and subscribe if you've enjoyed any of this. That would be fantastic. If you made it to the end, brilliant. Comment below. We will comment. I always try and comment back as soon as I can. But as I said, if you do any of those, you are a champion. If you do two of them, you are an F1 multiple champion. We will see you next time on the Hot Lap. Thank you very much.